Back on Radio Row and back with Ross Tucker 2 days in a row. I mean, this is maybe the biggest treat of the whole week, especially considering there's been no food here yet.
No
It's
treats at
definitely
all.
the best treat.
Well, I think it's pretty clear what the listeners and the fans in the UK are showing and saying. They want more Ross Tucker.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
You can't possibly have
It's true.
too much Ross Tucker. And I know you guys appreciate that I called out this convention center for having no food yesterday. And by the way, just as an aside, people are like, oh, you're complaining. First of all, if you follow me on social media at Ross Tucker NFL, Twitter, and Instagram, I do
Yeah, you do.
a press box food video from every game, every football event I go to, which is like 30. So this counts.
Yep.
This is a football event. So this counts. So I am going to do a food review. And I didn't decide to do what they did out there yesterday. And I know people are thinking, who cares? Well, here's the reality. We are in a convention center. There is literally nowhere within half a mile to buy any
It really
food,
is that far as
to
well.
purchase any food, at least half a mile. And usually at other Super Bowls, they have a little something, which, by the way, if you have some type of like business around here, how do you not have food here?
Just
How great was it? That was the idea in Atlanta, that they got a local business
Yeah.
to provide breakfast,
Of
lunch,
course.
dinner every day. And then everyone on every radio station is going, we just had some amazing...
We love Atlanta. We love these donuts from the Atlanta Donut Shop. Like, how do they not know that? Like, let me do PR or marketing for some of the Miami restaurants
I
down
agree.
here or Miami food. And so what happens is people like you guys are hard workers, by the way.
It's too kind.
You know what I mean? Most people think, nobody in Europe works as hard as the Americans. You guys are hard
I
workers.
mean, nobody thinks that, but I agree.
Although nobody works any harder than Ross Tucker, as we've been talking about. He's now trying to aim for more work through PR for Miami restaurants. This
and
man-
I want some talk sport work. I love UK. Okay, I ask you this every year. Have we moved up the rankings yet of British sports?
I mean, so the conversation with Sky, who are the main TV broadcaster, so we do the radio side, is that they are a top 5 sport in the UK. But when you consider that we have football,
Soccer, cricket, rugby.
cricket,
What's 4?
So
Is tennis pretty big?
it was tennis. I don't know if it still is.
I would think that
There are
it would
2
be above
rugbies as
tennis.
well.
Yeah, I would have thought it'd be above
I
tennis.
mean,
They just keep saying top 5.
I
which makes
genuinely think
annoyingly
it could
vague.
be darts.
It might
Like
be
darts
You ever
is
watch
so
darts?
popular.
Darts is
Darts
fantastic.
is incredibly popular. In
We
the
do
UK.
darts on the
No.
radio, and it's honestly, you
Wait a
think it
minute.
would never work as a
Yeah.
radio sport.
That is a
and
serious
darts on the
comment.
radio
Darts
is
on
one of
the
the best
radio.
things you've ever heard.
Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
darts is
glorious.
super.
Like darts, like
Yeah,
throwing
yeah.
darts, like in a pub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they pack out arenas for it. They pack out arenas.
3,000 people in
Yeah.
Alexandra Palace in North London. They're all in fancy dress. It's like going to like a college game under the lights. Everyone is having the best time. They've been doing the equivalent of tailgating all day. There's songs, there's chanting, and there's darts, and it's great.
But it's fair to say that soccer in the UK is still more popular than even football in the United States.
it's numero uno. Yeah,
No, but I mean, like, football is clearly the best in the U.S. But then, basketball is.
Yeah, I agree.
If football in the U.S. is a 9, basketball's a 7.
Yeah.
In the UK, it feels like soccer's a 10.
Yeah.
And what's second? Rugby or cricket?
Cricket would be a 6, maybe. I would.
Right. It's like there's a
I
pretty
think you're
big
being
drop
kind
off.
there.
Yeah.
And
I do
rugby,
as well.
rugby's about 5.
Yeah.
We've got 2 codes of rugby as well, so both of those are about 5 and
Yeah, they
4.
need to change that. It's the same in Australia. I don't get it. Why are there 2 codes?
I mean-
and Australia has Australian rules football.
Yeah.
So they have rugby league, rugby union, Australian rules football. It's like, dudes, how about y'all get together and just have one, and then all the top players play that one form of the same thing?
Let's call it American football.
I do have to call up one thing that we haven't asked you about, which
Do it.
right from the top you said, I do food reviews for all the press boxes on my social media.
Yeah.
Who's got the best food?
Well, first, I'm partial to Lambo,
Mm-hmm.
The cheese curds are great.
and I'm not even a cheese curd guy.
Yeah, I really like.
Before the game, though, they have the best salad bar in the league.
Yeah.
Which is nice, for healthy guys like me and you, Will.
Oh, yeah.
The best salad bar in the league.
Don't roll your
Then-
eyes, Matt Sherry.
Then they always have a couple of really nice entree options, like mac and cheese, pulled pork. They call the mac and cheese pack and cheese, by the way.
Oh, great.
Pulled pork. So they have those things, which are delicious. And then they always have the side brats. So what
Oh.
I do is before the game, I get a ton of let me teach you guys a little life hack here, okay? You get a plate of pulled pork,
Yeah.
and then you put like 3 scoops of mac and cheese right on top.
Yeah.
Mix it all together.
Oh, wow.
That's the entree. Then that's at like 3 hours before the game. Then like an hour before the game, I go back and have a salad. And so I'm feeling like, okay, I'm crazy healthy now. Cool. Halftime, there's only like 10 minutes. 2 brats at halftime. 1 with the bun with spicy mustard. 1 just the brat. Because again, I don't need the extra carbs. I'm crazy healthy.
The times that I've.
I mean, I'm honestly salivating.
I mean, it's a very difficult conversation to have in a place that essentially is refusing to feed us. But the couple of times I've been to Lambeau, they also do an outstanding just cut beef, thin strips of a big chunk of it, and just thin layers. And they do the same at Heinz Field.
Do you guys acknowledge that British food's not good?
Well, no. Food in Britain is excellent. British food can be seen as not
But
being.
I mean, there's a couple
Correct.
of
Like you guys have unbelievable like Indian food,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
there's a couple of great British dishes as well. I mean, everyone says fish and chips, but
Shepherd's pie.
a roast,
no.
a proper
Is
roast
shepherd's pie
dinner.
from the UK?
Yeah, it is absolutely.
Dude, I eat the crap out of
Yeah.
shepherd's
Cottage
pie.
pie as well. I
Yeah,
love a cottage
but
pie.
a proper on a Sunday we have a roast dinner, which is an item of meat, Yorkshire puddings, veg, and then real gravy, not the nonsense that you guys call gravy. And it is absolutely sublime.
Why do-
I think it takes some beating.
Why do you only have gravy once a year? It doesn't make any sense.
The
gravy every Sunday
That's a
for
good
us.
point.
The-
Same with stuffing.
Oh,
God, stuffing's so good.
oh my God! This is a group of men who haven't been fed today. We've spoken
So-
about 10 minutes about food.
Bring food.
The weirdest moment in my entire time working in anything around the NFL was, I think, 2014, 2015, around one of the London games. They did one of those, there's the parliamentary group for NFL or whatever.
Yeah.
And they did a dinner, and they invited a few journalists along as well. And it was when the Raiders were playing the Broncos. And so there was like Howie Long was there and like a few other people.
Okay.
We were on a table which had Darrell Davis at the other end of it, who turned to me about 10 minutes before the meal and just looked at the menu and went, "What's a Yorkshire pudding?" And trying to explain a Yorkshire pudding to an American who has no idea what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's like a savoury salted pancake, but then you bake it in like a muffin tray.
And it rises.
And then it rises and comes out looking a bit like a
It's-
cornbread muffin.
it's
But it's like
sensational.
light and fluffy and crispy. And
I didn't know what a Yorkshire pudding was.
do you now want
What-
one after that description?
Yes, but when he said it, I thought it was like our pudding.
No, absolutely
Which I'm
not.
not a big fan of.
No.
No,
Our-
it's not
our
like that
pudding's
at all.
not great.
It's sublime.
By the way, then again, I thought Marshawn Lynch was actually talking about chicken. I was like, okay, take care of your chicken. I can respect that.
This is the real joy
I
of
eat
a
a lot
Yorkshire
of
pudding.
chicken.
That's what a Yorkshire pudding looks like, right?
I've never had that.
And
So
you pour the gravy in the top.
So you
Oh.
get a bit of your meat, a bit of your potatoes, a bit of everything, put it inside the Yorkshire pudding with the gravy.
Why is
and eat
that
it
thing
like that.
called pudding?
I don't know.
I mean, what I would say is we probably, as English people, created the word pudding first, and you guys took it and transformed it into what you call pudding. That's my guess.
Yeah. You have suet
Probably with
pudding, stuff
almost
like that.
everything. But yeah, you guys do have great food. It's just not.
Our food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who cares?
We take the best of everybody
Yeah,
else and put it
yeah.
all in one place.
We do a great pie.
Yeah, pies are great.
Pies are great.
But again, pie to us is a savoury item with pastry.
And it has to have a lid. And it has to have fully encased in pastry.
I feel like we should
Otherwise it's not a
we
real
should
pie.
ask a couple of questions about football.
Probably because otherwise
The
this
video
will be
is this
entirely
is
new to me.
gridiron. Okay. You know what's funny? Nobody really says gridiron that much in America.
It's really big in the UK.
No, it's the thing
Yeah, yeah.
you guys like. I've been over there. People have said, "Oh, you mean gridiron?"
Yeah.
Like they call it gridiron. Here, like every once in a while, they'll say, Yeah, there's a big matchup on the gridiron today,
Yeah.
but not that often. I feel like with every passing year, gridiron goes away in the States and becomes even more prominent in the UK.
When I worked for a national news agency, and when we used to tag American football stories, they were tagged as gridiron. So I worked for kind of the equivalent of AP, and that was what we called it, which is why when we started the magazine, I called it gridiron.
How many is it? A magazine or is it online only?
No, a magazine.
And how many? Pretty good subscribers.
Yep.
Base? It's awesome. Is
Really
it just
good.
the UK or?
Just the UK. We are looking at the moment to expand in further afield into Europe. We do one issue a year that Neil Reynolds writes, a season preview that sells in America as well, over here.
Awesome.
So yeah, and the subscriber base has grown significantly year on year, so it's good. I feel like he's interviewing me now. It's an.
I do that every
interesting
time. You know why? You know why? Because everything you guys are going to ask me about football, I already know what I think.
So what do you think?
I'm not interested in what I think. I'm interested in learning something about Yorkshire Pudding, Gridiron Magazine.
Absolutely.
Look, we just got crazy awesome pub on this video for Gridiron Magazine. Here's what you need to do. Have 3 less Yorkshire puddings and make sure that your auntie is subscribed to Gridiron Magazine, okay? Bloody hell. Get her a subscription for Valentine's Day. But get your wife myfrontpagestory.com. Myfrontpagestory.com. It takes 10 seconds. No, that's a lie. It takes 10 minutes to talk to a writer. Tell them how much you love your wife. They write the story, send it to you, you give it to her, she cries, you win, and we all know what happens after that. myfrontpagestory.com.
I cry as well. That's what happens after that.
Oh, mate,
Anyway,
that's a bit weird.
do you need to?
Okay. Next question. Who do you guys, the UK right now, who do they want to win the Super Bowl?
Probably. Oh, I don't know. It's tough. So we have a split kind of demographic of fans. It was hugely popular in the 80s.
So those are the Niner fans.
Well, yeah, Niners, Bears, Dolphins,
Cowboys.
but the Chiefs are one of the kind of modern fan base. Teams,
Here's
aren't
what
they?
I'd say. I think there are more 49ers fans in the UK, and I actually think it's significant because of that older group.
Yeah.
But the Kansas City Chiefs UK, like the Chiefs UK Kingdom, they are one of the most active fan groups. They're brilliant on social media.
Yeah.
There's 7 of their guys who like run the social media accounts and stuff are coming out here on Friday and going to the game on Sunday, and we're going to get them on the show and stuff. So it's like it's easily one of the most active fan bases,
Yeah.
and they're really good guys.
I'm not sure
as well.
it's really about that. I think people, if you're a neutral, you love Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
How could you
Yeah.
not? So I think the neutrals.
What
will
about
be
like the
leaning
girls?
towards
They
Mahomes.
like Jimmy G.
Who
Oh,
doesn't?
I mean, who doesn't? Men as well, including all of us.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's so
That's a
good
stunningly attractive man.
He is a pretty good looking guy. There's no question. But I think it's weird that the UK, like, I don't get it why it was so popular in the 80s.
So they brought games over, pre-season games. They're called the American Bowl. So like the 85 Bears came over the year after, Cowboys came over.
49ers
But did they get
came
rid of it
over.
in the 90s so people kind of got.
So they kind of transitioned into NFL Europe, which obviously
Okay.
wasn't so
So
successful.
then people didn't get on the Broncos in the mid 90s.
Nah, not
or
so
the
much.
Cowboys.
It kind of dropped a little bit with, and NFL Europe didn't really kind of achieve. I guess fandom. I think it achieved some good things as a developmental league, and then essentially they were kind of at a crossroads with the whole UK avenue, and they decided. Well, it was Alistair Kirkwood said we need to bring a regular season game over, and the story is that the NFL said to them, you can bring a regular season game over if you get this many viewers for the Super Bowl. They give them a $1 million budget to promote the hell out of the Super Bowl coverage, and it only just got past the threshold, and then the next 18 months later, Giants against the Dolphins, and the rest is history, isn't it?
Eli Manning, by the way, beating Jason Taylor on the edge for one of only, 4 rushing touchdowns in his entire career.
Yeah.
It was a weird game. I think it finished.
I remember that. Do you think it can just keep going up, up, and up?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're at the point now. I was chatting to a couple of guys at NFL about this earlier, but so they used to announce the games kind of October time for the next year. I mean, we haven't got an announcement yet for next year's games, and there's so much confidence that it's not an issue because they sell the season tickets out, the ticketing's so strong, and that's because the fan base has grown. And I mean, you were asking about subscribers for us. I mean, we're just seeing annual growth.
Are people really Jags fans though?
Yeah.
Genuinely, yeah,
Yeah.
genuinely.
You see people wearing their gear around London, and yeah,
So they
people-
actually
there's-
are
it's-
getting some Jags fans.
They were like an underdog mentality, and then they came and they won 3 games in a row, and they were good games as well. The comeback against Buffalo, there was that game. There was who else did they beat over that stretch? There was a really good stretch of 2 or 3 games where they were good in London. There was a point in time where they won back-to-back games in London and lost 7 straight at home, and they had a better home record in London over a 12-month period than they did in Jacksonville.
I
and
think
so-
I think another key thing with how big it's going to get is the new Spurs Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is NFL specific, is incredible. It's the second best NFL stadium there is, behind Dallas.
I gotta go. I want to go.
It's honestly,
Bad.
Ross.
You should
it's,
come over
it's
next year.
amazing. It's such a great stadium. You got to go.
I want to go.
Well, if you can get out there, we'll get you on the CoComs on TalkSport. I can't guarantee they're going to pay you
Actually,
to
the,
get out
the
there
food, the food
the
at that
budget is
stadium
tight
is
as anything.
outstanding as well. Really great food.
It is good food.
And
Really
also,
great
you
food.
were struggling for an American to do the CoComs, weren't you, last year?
For one of the games.
All
yeah.
right. Ask me whatever. You guys get one question. I've been on for 20 minutes. You haven't asked me one question yet. I've just been dominating the conversation. You get one question. If you could only get one question, Matthew Sherry, what would it be?
And bear in mind, we've got to do a live show in 6 minutes' time. So it can be a great question, but it has to be wrapped up in 4 minutes.
I'm a Patriots fan, so tell us about working with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
That's not a question.
Okay, that is a question. Tell us. Nah, it's a statement. That's all right. It would have been. You could have done it in your voice, like, "Can you tell us about?" Doesn't matter. I know what you meant, dude. I'll give you the short version. Belichick is the best coach strategically I was ever around, but also like 100% negative reinforcement. Like they don't tell you when you do something well, but the first thing you do at the morning at 8 a.m. in the meeting is they go over the 5 worst plays from the day before. And like your whole goal is to not be on the low light tape. Like that's your goal. You don't want to be on the low light tape. But he was also very specific when it came to who they wanted to stop that game and what the key was. Way more specific than the other coach I had. Brady's the most self-motivated, determined individual I've ever been around. He was a total psycho when it came to anything. Like he wanted my snap to him when I was in practice center to be perfect, and he would get mad if it wasn't. Like when the center snaps a ball to the quarterback's top hand, it makes a sound like a clap, right? Like he didn't want that. Like he wanted to smack. Like he wanted that real smack every time, because in his psycho mind, that makes him just a little bit faster back from center, a little bit more time to see the defense, a little bit more time to get back and throw the ball. I mean, I tell everybody that story because no matter what you're doing in life, like I think Kobe Bryant was the same way. Like you can always do it a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit better. And that's how he looks at it. I mean, in the off season, we would do like quick feet drills, like a ladder, and he was terrible. And we would laugh, and he would like get pissed off and do it again. He'd already won 3 Super Bowls. We're like, dude, we're just kidding. Like you're Tom Brady, dude. No. He was like, I'm doing it again. All right, dude. Nobody really cares, but go for it. Bottom line is, Tom Brady's the kind of guy that would get Giselle a story from myfrontpagestory.com. I think if I had to summarize it, that would be my summary. You guys are awesome. Everybody in the UK is awesome. I love that you guys love football. Make sure you listen to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, or if you're just into betting, the Even Money Sports Betting Podcast. I'll just tell you now, I like the Niners. I like the over.